Channel 5 News kept promising a press conference that never materialized. Surprise, surprise, yeah, because they have nothing to say. You understand? The anybody like the governor, you know, the Baker, or anybody like, there was a, I don't know who he was, on there saying what I've been saying. There's no excuse for this to have happened at all. You understand? There's no excuse. So the people, authorities, or the mayors, or this or that, they don't know what to say. My news is like, we reached out to Columbia Gas, I think it's Columbia Gas, or I don't know, for comment, but of course they have nothing to say either. This is unimaginable. Somebody wrote something that he believes that it was human error. He said some technician or something didn't, because he doesn't know, but he's speculating anyway. Some technician didn't check the this or that, but it's one or the other. It's either inexcusable human error, because this is not a case where you can say, oh, sorry, I fucked up. Yeah. Lionel, whatever his name is, lost his life. 18-year-old kid, just innocently sitting in the fucking driveway of a different home than the one exploded, and the chimney crushed his car. Crushed him to death. And he didn't even die instantly, as I didn't know, because they didn't mention it earlier. No, he was the one who was critical, and he died though. He died of his injuries. Remember I was talking about they didn't have any fatalities as of yet. Armageddon. The senator or something, I don't know his name, it doesn't matter. He said, I'm going to be playing you what I got on, did closed captions or whatever. That was when I first found out about this, and now that was before I found out about Lionel being crushed to death, if that's his name. It's close enough. Kid and Lawrence, that's all you need to know. Sad. Anyway, the same one who said this is, you know, this should never have happened. It's like, everyone is like, how could this have happened? How? I mean, no one's ever heard of this happening. There's a 91-year-old woman on this. She's grateful to be alive and her family's alive, but she's like, she's 91, I'm going to be 50. I've never heard of anything like this happening. Nobody has. Not in the United States anyway, not to this extent. This is fucking hitting too close to home for me. It's actually terrifying me, if you want to know the truth. It's hitting too close to home and it's terrifying me. Because what I'm going to call my title, something like the unimaginable pipeline disaster that took place in the Merrimack Valley could have happened anywhere. And it's scaring the fucking shit out of me. I'm not afraid to admit that it is. Because, as I told you in the other video, I believe I've uploaded all my videos I created, except the one that I want to play while I talk to you. But I would have never even crossed my mind that something like this could happen. And it makes me wonder what's going to be the next thing that's going to happen that I've never seen happen. Not next tragedy I've never even seen close to happening in my life, is it, you know? As I mentioned, he thinks it's human error, but it could also have been intentional sabotage. Like Joe wrote, pipeline, you know, leak sabotage. Could have been sabotage, an act of sabotage, terrorism, you know, same thing. And if it is attributed to absolutely inexcusable, ridiculous, fucking human error, then heads need to roll, figuratively speaking. And I highly doubt, like this guy was saying, like it was what some moron technician didn't check the, you know. I highly doubt it's going to be attributed to one person. But if it is, there's no excuse. You understand? If the person responsible is sitting out there and being like, thinking to himself, I'm so sorry, I fucked up, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. Not if when you cause something like this to happen. But it could happen anywhere. That's the thing. This is unbelievable to me. Just unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me, people. It's just unbelievable. So let me play this. This was what I had found out, you know, earlier when I first found out about this. I did closed caption, and like I do when something's important. But I also know that you're more likely to watch my video if you can see me. Even if I don't show skin, you know. Which I'm not doing. I took off my socks because I wanted to take off my socks, not to show my feet. These videos are just me just saying important shit that I just I'm watching it all play out, like the guy, the senator, whoever he was, I don't know his name, but it looked like you know, the Merrimack Valley looks like a war zone. Obviously it's not a war, it looks like a fucking war zone. And I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, that's too close to home. How do I know the same thing's not going to happen around here tomorrow? Or sometime, you know? It's like, how do you know? If nobody can believe this happened at all, then how do we know it's not just going to, you know? Oh my God. And what's Columbia thing going to do? Columbia, you know, Columbia Gas. Oh, sorry. You know, that's not good enough. Sorry, one of our workers fucked up. You know, it's like, no. This should not have happened. These poor people. Like, this woman was practically crying. She's like, I was coming home from work and saw the news or something and saw my neighbor's house up in flames. Like another guy said, you know, if your neighbor's house explodes, you're not going to want to be going back to yours. For that matter, why didn't every single house? That's another thing I would like to know. Why, if this isn't an act of sabotage, if it's attributed, if it derived just from simple, inexcusable, in my book, human error, I'm not forgiving when it comes to some bullshit like this. No. And it scares the fucking shit out of me that something like this could even happen at all, ever. But whatever. Why didn't it affect every single house that got that, who had Columbia as their gas company? I mean, that's what I don't understand too. Why wouldn't it have affected every single Columbia Gas customer in those three cities, Andover, North Andover, and Lawrence? Why would it only affect, why were there only, I'm being morbid here, but why were there only 70 fires as opposed to, you know? If we want to be really blunt, if this is something like that, why wouldn't it have affected like 1,000 or 10? They said 100,000 people were affected by this. So why wasn't there a fire in every single residence? That's the kind of things I think about. But my first instinct is to think this was intentional sabotage. You know, like my Joe Road, pipeline link, sabotage, you know. So in that instance, there's no way, if it's a coordinated effort of, you know, probably wasn't just one person involved, if it was an act of terrorism or sabotage, you know, slash whatever, sabotage slash act of terrorism, you know, if it was that, then they would never be able to affect like 100,000 people all at once. That'd be impossible. But the damage is like catastrophic. It's horrific. It's those poor people. Families fucking, there were families inside homes that exploded. Like that guy, the same one as this, you know, you expect, and you should be able to be safe in your own home and not be innocently making dinner or something, or you just came home from work or whatever, and your house explodes. Holy fucking shit. Oh my God. I just can't believe it. Alright people, you ready to hear even more of this ridiculous bullshit? This is the one I got when I taped. Alright people, you ready to hear even more of this ridiculous? This is when I did closed caption. This was my Inside Edition. Okay. Not Inside Edition, I'm sorry, World News Tonight that didn't tape, because this has understandably, you know, taken precedence. They've had this playing all day long as opposed to any other programming, you know, which is of course understandable, and this is just unprecedented. This is anyway, let me play this. Bullshit. I put it on closed caption, and this is Chief Joseph's. Alright people, you ready to hear even more of this ridiculous bullshit? So this is what was going on at 6:30 in the Merrimack Valley. This is Chief Joseph Solomon of the Methuen Police. Change my top for variety sake. Okay. He said, here's what we know so far in my city of Methuen. What do we know? First, I want to say, because in my city there's no danger. In the city of Methuen has no fires, no explosions, thank God. They are not shutting off our gas. Currently they are shutting 8,000 customers off in Lawrence and Andover. Remember, this was what recorded instead of my World News Tonight at 6:30. It looks like they will shut off the North Andover customers. Based on my briefing, there are 20 to 25 fires in Lawrence, 20 fires in Andover, 25 plus fires and explosions in North Andover. And then he says, as you can see, we have command vehicles, the state fire marshal, the district mayor for the state. I called my mom earlier, you know, of course, to see if she's affected. You know, my mom and I, you already know, are both the types that we can't deal with life anyway, so we get seriously affected by something like this. Like I said, it's too close to home. I could hear it in my mom's voice when I called her. I'm like, are you watching this? And she's like, yeah, I have the news on. And I could hear it in her voice. I'm like, do you believe this? She's like, no. No. It could happen here. It could happen anywhere. This guy wrote something like this happened. I never heard about something like this happening in Boston, but if it didn't happen to this extent. Because he seems to think that it's attributed to human error. Inexcusable human error. Let's make that perfectly clear.
I have 30 cops helping. We do not know what caused it. We're just trying to get ahead of it. Yeah, no shit, you don't know what caused it. There's no excuse. See, the news will just say at least 50 explosions and fires in homes in Lawrence, Andover, and North Andover, but he just broke it down.
And also
understand? He just broke it down to that. He says, this is what we know.
This was at 6:30. By the time we reached, when I was watching 11 to 12, the same ongoing thing, the breaking news, they said definitely at least 70 fires, explosions, at least 70 across the Merrimack Valley. And they showed the little map, and and like that guy said, if you see it if you like up in a helicopter, you see it. It looks like a war zone, and on the map you see all the widespread and here and here and here and all. I mean, oh my God.
I've never heard of anything like this happening ever in my life. 20 to 25 fires in Lawrence, 20 fires in Andover, 25 plus fires and explosions in North Andover. These all happened all around Merrimack Valley, people. This is ridiculous. Like I said, this isn't an act of Mother Nature, and if it's not an intentional act, like an act of terrorism or something, then it's an inexcusable, in my book, human error. It's derived from inexcusable, in my book, human error. There's no excuse for human error that leads to this type of absolute catastrophe, Widespread catastrophe.
Terrifying.
And like I also said, if this can happen there, it can happen any fucking where. I mean,
horrific tragedy.
And what's going to happen if it's human error? It's like, oh, sorry, they'll get lawsuits or whatever, but meanwhile, the lawsuits don't break back the people, who were seriously injured, or if anybody was dead, or, There's no excuse for something like this to have happened. But human error can cause anything. Look at the human error. The guy pressed the button and sent out a thing saying that a monsoon or whatever it was hitting Hawaii. And that caused mass panic and could have caused injuries or death or whatnot when people are in the midst of a mass panic,
Later on in the news, my news was saying, like, where are all these people going to go that have been ordered from, evacuated from their homes, and a lot of them, even if you're not ordered, they can't force you to leave, but who wants to stay? They thought they had a fire under control from earlier, and then they were saying hours later that something suddenly sparked, and a new fire sparked up in that same house, so, you don't really want to stay, but they're like, oh, well, we have shelters set up that'll hold like 400 or 500 people, but there's still thousands who have to find someplace else to go. Where the fuck are they supposed to go? I know when something like this just happens, people who are alive are, of course, you're going to be grateful you're alive and not dead, like Lionel, whatever, however, Lionel, whatever, how sad. not dead like him, or we don't know the extent of injuries. There could have been people seriously injured. We don't know.